Hey there, everybody. How's it going? Welcome back to another awesome episode of On the Throttle with Jackie Van Ham and my buddy Josh Trokey out here bringing you all of the newest news going on out here in motorcycles and power sports. Before we jump into today's show, Josh, I just want to go ahead and give us a little bit of a pat on the back, you and I both, because for the past week or so, two stories that have been melting down the internet we covered and broke here like a month ago. Don't believe me? You can always go back and watch any of our previous episodes. They live forever and ever out here on the internet, out on our Facebook pages, and out there on YouTube. And all of those videos you can find, as well as all sorts of more in-depth stories and great articles over at our parent website, motorcyclepowersportsnews.com. Now, for today's show, Josh, what have you got going on in your neck of the woods?
So if you're on a BMW next year and you happen to chuck it at the scenery, they may be able to help you. And the other one is Ducati, believe it or not, has found another way to drain your wallet. So we're going to talk about those two on my end of things. What about for you?
Well, Josh, for my stories for today, I've got something old, something new, something borrowed, and something too. But we're all going to have to stick around and wait and see about those stories and more after this word from our sponsors.
For all of your motorcycle ATV and UTV oil requirements, be sure to run Pen Grade 1. The unique base oil cut utilized in the original green oil and the enhanced levels of anti-wear additives provide strong protection while reducing internal friction for increased horsepower output under the most demanding conditions. Pen Grade 1 is proud to be made in the USA.
So as promised before our sponsor note, thank you so much to Pengrade for joining us. As promised, my stories for today are going to be something old, something new, something borrowed, and something too. And my first story for today is old, new, and borrowed, and that is the 25th anniversary of the Busa, baby. That's right, the 25th anniversary of the Suzuki Hayabusa is here. Where did the time go for this iconic machine, right? Josh, look at the slide on your screen right now. You can tell that out of the lineup anywhere that is definitely a new Hayabusa. In 1999, Suzuki introduced what can be considered one of the most iconic motorcycles in pop culture, designed specifically to take the crown of the fastest production motorcycle at the time. That title has since been long gone, but still a very, very fast, very, very iconic, very cult type of bike is the Suzuki Hayabusa. The Suzuki Hayabusa does live on. It is no longer the fastest bike in the world, but like I said, it is a 1,340cc liquid-cooled, fuel-injected inline four that pumps out a whopping 187 horsepower. This beautiful bike, again, is launched as a bit of an anniversary to the 25th year of the Hayabusa. It is instantly recognizable from its wind-cheating body, preserves the cues that were inspired by the peregrine falcon, the world's fastest animal, quote from the folks at Suzuki. Suzuki's design team incorporated distinct lines and shapes to achieve an expression of refinement and ultimate performance. The 25th anniversary Busa comes in a striking and special glass blaze orange and glass sparkle black color combination that features the iconic Hayabusa kanji symbols and name logos. Unique features of the 25th anniversary Hayabusa include the 25th anniversary emblem and raised Suzuki logos are featured on the fuel tank. Elegant 25th anniversary logos are etched on each muffler. Look at the slide on your screen right now. Absolutely beautiful. Distinctive gloss black cowling trim. The brake rotor carriers and drive chain adjusters are gold anodized. The kanji logo is applied to the drive chain plate. The single seat cowling is included as standard equipment. All sorts of bells and whistles come on this beautiful, beautiful bike. Again, this is the 25th anniversary bike. It does have that 6-speed gearbox and again, a bunch of rider aids, including the Suzuki Intelligent Ride System, a comprehensive collection of electronic rider aids like cruise control and bidirectional quick shift systems that can optimize and personalize the motorcycle's performance characteristics to match the conditions and desires of the rider. Only the Hayabusa offers this premium suite of aids that simultaneously boost performance and comfort as riders enjoy the ultimate sport bike experience. the 25th anniversary of the Hayabusa is here. Josh, what do you think about this awesome looking bike from Suzuki?
I'm upset that it's celebrating its 25th anniversary because I remember when it was released. So that's painful for me. But I mean, this bike by all means deserves to be around for 25 years. It's an icon. I mean, it has earned its place in the halls of dumb horsepower motorcycles, as what I like to call them. And what I love about this bike too is it is so unbelievably capable. I mean, a lot of people think when you got into stuff when it was the Speed Wars back in the late 90s and there was the CBR double X and stuff like that. And I mean, this blew that out of the water. And really, this does stuff a lot better in a lot of cases than that. And it was that game changer that made everyone stand up and be like, oh, we can go this far. So to me, and that was the other thing that caused the gentleman's agreement at 186 miles an hour, because they started to say, look, either you're going to regulate yourselves or the government is going to step in and do it. So that's when all the manufacturers kind of stepped up and said, okay, we'll stop at 186. This bike, it was the game changer, and that is why it deserves to be around for 25 years. I absolutely still love it. I've been on a couple of them, and every single time I go to get my leathers lengthened after pulling my arms out of the sockets.
I was going to say, it's such an incredible machine, and you're right.
Yeah.
I totally get why this has been such a cult bike for 25 years now. Folks that buy into the Busa do not leave the Busa. This is a long timer bike. I see people of all ages on this bike and buying this bike for the first time or buying their third or fourth version of this bike. You can tell it out of a lineup, like I said at the top of the program, because of the shapes that are on this bike, which people either love or hate. It goes both ways. I'm not going to lie. A lot of folks like to talk some smack about some of the shapeliness, the curves that go on with the Hayabusa. I think it's absolutely gorgeous, though. It's just, it's just an iconic machine. And happy 25th anniversary to Suzuki and all the Hayabusa fans out there. This bike is gorgeous. I love that it got its own special trim package as well. Very, very cool stuff coming from the folks at Suzuki. Now, Josh, what do you got going on for your first story today?
So, I mean, that bike causes most people to do dumb things. And let's say you're out doing another dumb thing on a different bike. But if it's a BMW that is a 2024 model, there is a chance that when you do something dumb, BMW can come to your rescue. BMW has the intelligent emergency call system that is coming out on a number of the bikes. Now, obviously, I put the number one bike that you're going to think of with this is the GS. Now, they're going to release the 1300 GS here coming up this year. So I'm assuming with it being the flagship, it's going to be on there. They haven't said it yet, but it is going to be on an option on the F900R and the XR. It is standard on the K1600s, the R1250s, the R18B and Transcontinental, the S1000R and RR, and the CEO4. The button here that you see on this handlebar has a cover over it. So that way, when someone comes over and hits your kill switch at a traffic light, you don't mash the SOS button when you're trying to take back off. So we want to make sure that there's that. Now, on the flip side of this, there is also an automatic activation with this. So if you chuck it at the scenery, it is going to take a look at a number of things and it's going to call BMW and be like, this dude's got problems or this woman's got problems. Whoever was just on me is no longer on me. What it actually does is it will call you via a speaker and a microphone in the right hand grip setup there, which to me is really, really awesome. And what this kind of harkens back to the GM OnStar system is what it really kind of makes me think of. What's nice about it is they didn't have to add a huge number of sensors in order to make this work. When you've got obviously all the nannies that bikes have now with wheelie control, with the gyroscopes that are involved and stuff like that, now we can look at things in an effective manner to know when stuff has gone, let's just say, sideways. Or the other way I like to say it is when the fan needs a proverbial pressure washing. So that being said, this it will radio back. It calls a call center. So if you do or don't pick up, it also transmits data. So it is going to tell them, it is going to pinpoint you with as much accuracy as the GPS can. So they should be able to get within probably about 30 to 50 feet of exactly where you're at. So if you're off on some back road, there's a good chance that they'll be able to find you. It also gives a state of the motorcycle. And we all know that sometimes that can be deceiving, but it's probably going to give you a pretty good idea of the state of the rider. If it can no longer find a signal from the front ABS, it's probably going to assume that the front end and the rest of the bike are in two different places, which means this went bad in a bad way. It's also going to look at data from right before the accident. So if there was triple digit speeds right before the accident, it is going to let the call center know, not the police. It is going to let the call center know that that is what happened to involve that. To me, that the microphone, the fact that it's going to call you to try and get in touch with you, that to me is really awesome. And like I said, yes, more than likely, they haven't said it's going to be on the R1300 GS, but we're pretty sure that it will be able to call the BMW call center when it falls over in the Starbucks parking lot. Yes, that was a pot shot. I had to make it. But the big thing that I will say about this is there is a big limitation that a lot of us ADV people know about, that this does rely on a cellular signal. So if you are out in the middle of Nowheresville, where most of us like to go to escape people, it may not be able to reach out. So keep that in mind. It is a great safety net. I love that they're doing this. This is the type of technology that's going to come from using other sensors on the bike, and I'm actually really looking forward to it. What are your thoughts on this, Jacqui? I mean, is this ET phone home here?
This is such ET phone home. No, I love this technology. This is so clever. And you're right, it's already utilizing things that already exist on the motorcycles anyway. The bikes have gotten so incredibly high tech. They have so much computer systems, and radars on board now are incredibly common. This was just kind of crossing one more T, dotting one more I, as it were, and just putting a toggle switch there and connecting a couple different things, and enabling them with the ECU to read that information differently and make different interpretations. So I think this is so incredibly smart. Bravo. Just a really neat piece of kit that I'm sure did not really require a whole ton of extra legwork to make happen. To touch on, you're talking about, though, that these do rely on cell towers. Yes, that is a great thing to point out, particularly for our off-road friends, and our friends that like to really go adventuring out in the cut. If you are planning on going out into the boondoggles, you do really need to consider bringing some sort of satellite safety system with you. That way you do have coverage at all times. Just me being a little PSA from me to you. But still, a very cool piece of technology. Lots of places most of these bikes go do have cell tower service, as you've already touched on. The Starbucks crew out there do like to go ahead and stay in town with their machines. But yeah, very cool piece of kit. Really good news from the folks at BMW. And my next story actually is also talking about something coming on from BMW. As I mentioned at the top of the program, something old, something new, something borrowed, and something too. But we're all going to have to wait after this word from our show partners. Switching to pay-per-mile insurance, VOOM Insurance can save you up to 60%. This is ideal for multiple bike owners, weekend riders, and those of us out here with a shorter riding season. There's no tracking or hardware required. VOOM uses a mobile app for convenient upload of the odometer. This is available in Arizona, Oregon, Colorado, Oklahoma, Texas, Minnesota, Iowa, Missouri, Wisconsin, Illinois, Indiana, Ohio, Tennessee, Alabama, Pennsylvania, and Maryland, with more states being added as we grow. For more info, head to VOOMinsurance.com. Showchrome is a leader in power sports accessories for 2, 3, and 4 wheels. For over 42 years, our R&D team has created innovative products for riders. We're releasing over 80 new products in 2023, featuring exciting products for Honda Goldwing, Can-Am Ryker, and Can-Am Spyder, Polaris Slingshot, side-by-side and UTVs, and UltraGuard covers for many power sports makes and models. Make sure you're staying in the loop. Sign up to receive new product releases at showchromeusa.com today. All right, back to the program. So my second story for today, hot on the heels of Josh's story about BMW. BMW just celebrated its 100th anniversary out in Berlin. There was all sorts of cool stuff going on, including a handful of launches. I have a feeling you're going to be hearing a lot more BMW in the news in the next handful of weeks. And this just made a couple of ripples out here. People are getting really excited about another electric machine, a little bit of electric mobility from the folks at BMW. A year or two ago, they released the very futuristic maxi scoot CE04. And I have to admit, I didn't see this one coming. This is the CE02. And they're very careful to say zero, by the way. In this country, we like to say O2, but it's zero for zero emissions. Anyway, CE02 just landed out here on the internets this past week, and it has just been burning down the internet. This very cool looking little machine. I've got to admit, I love the look of this. Super modern, super futuristic. I think this is just an absolute hoot. The CE04 I also thought was super cool as a maxi scooter with a maxi price tag. However, I was hoping that the numbers for this were going to be a little bit less, and I was pleasantly surprised. Let's go ahead and jump on into this story over here about the BMW CE02. So, as I mentioned, the CE02 was just launched in the last week or so. It's electric, designed to appeal to young people, and it's neither an e-motorbike nor an e-scooter. Well, what can it be then? It's an e-parkour created for the urban environment. Okay, now I'm not going to lie. I literally do not know what they mean by that. But to me, this is like an e-moto. This is an e-bike. It really kind of straddles the line between the e-bike market and the e-moto bike market, because this bad dog goes darn near 60 miles per hour. And that is a much more significant number over the e-bikes that have been floating around in the market that are around like the $2,500, $3,500 price tag, but they top out at about 35 miles per hour. This tops out at 59. The 2024 BMW CE02 will arrive in the US with an MSRP, that's right, folks, $7,599, so under $8,000. With the CE02, we are striving for something new at BMW Motorrad and want to be pioneers once again. Thanks to its unusual proportions and striking graphics, the new CE02 is an uncomplicated, youthful form of single-track mobility. The reduced design language stands for lightness and fun. The focus is not on utility, but on emotional appeal, riding pleasure, and uncomplicated, almost intuitive use. So I thought this sounded really interesting. The maximum power is approximately 15 horsepower. Torque is 40 pound per foot. Let me try that again. It comes with a steel frame, single-eyed rear swing arm, telescopic front forks, BMW Motorrad ABS, of course, always putting that technology on all of their machines, automatic stability control, and there's a reversing aid as well. That's right, it comes with reverse, 2 standard riding modes, flow and surf. Again, this language I don't always understand, but God bless. A third driving mode called Flash, which is part of an optional Highline package, which that means it costs more dollars. A low seat height of 29.5 inches. This is rideable. This is suitable for a 2-up ride. It comes with a USB socket, 3.5 micro TFT dash, just all sorts of really very fun bells and whistles and goodies on this little scoot. I think this is really interesting, Josh. I absolutely love this. I love how simple and uncomplicated it is. I'm buying into the design language, as they just mentioned in their press release, 110%. I think this looks very cool. Under $8,000, do I wish it was cheaper? Sure. But it is really edging towards that space of e-motorcycles, and those guys are all right around $9,000 to $10,000. So I can see it being in this space for sure. It makes sense at sub 8K. Josh, oh, there we go. The slide on your screen right now is showing you the CE04, which is the maxi scoot on the left, and its new little baby brother, the CE02, on the right. Josh, what do you think about all this e-mobility from the folks at BMW?
I think it looks great. It looks like a ton of fun. It looks like just huck it around everywhere. Although the one picture was a woman at the skate park, I'm not sure I would take it to the skate park right away. That seems like a little much, but really, I mean, the look of it and everything like that, it definitely speaks to that urban mobility. Get to wherever the heck you want to go, zip in and out of cars, zip in and out of traffic. I mean, to me, it's got that very much that great look to it. The one thing that I hope BMW adds to this is some luggage space, because that being an urban bike, you need to be able to throw a sack of apples and a couple of things of chicken and some eggs in that bad boy in order for it to work urban. If they do that, I think they've got a winner, especially with it looking like that.
Yeah, for sure. I have no doubt that there will be some parts and accessories coming for this. If they don't, that would be missing such a massive opportunity. But you're
Yeah.
right. A rear luggage rack on this would be much desired for certain. So that's what's going on for my story of something old, something new, something borrowed, something two. Josh, what do you got going on for your second story?
So, like I said, Ducati has found yet another way for you to drain your wallets. And I think this is probably one of the coolest ways and probably one of the absolute safest ways to do it. So, in a lot of cases, you'll see a MotoGP racer that will go over to the crowd after like got a podium finish, whatever. They chuck their gloves up into the crowd. That's pretty cool. To take someone's glove home, that would be kind of cool. What happens if you could take someone's camshaft home, or someone's piston home, or someone's crankshaft home? To me, this is so cool what Ducati's doing. So this, I mean, you have this sitting on your coffee tables. I mean, people are either going to be like, ooh, or they're going to be like, what the heck is that? And which point, either way, you get to explain it to them, which is absolutely awesome. So these are used MotoGP parts that are for sale through the dealerships or through Ducati directly. Now, what these do is these include a plexiglass case, and they've also got like a gray, like velvet type box that you can store these in also. So right now, this is something from the GP15. Right now, they are selling stuff off of the GP16 motorcycles. Now, as you see here on this one where I pulled this, the site that I pulled this from, you can get a camshaft for $800. The fact that it is in or was in a MotoGP bike is, to me, just an awesome, awesome, awesome piece of history. Now, one of the things that I like about this too is this comes along. If you look closely below the camshaft, there's three other photos there. That one in the center is a fold out that comes with basically a description of the part. The other thing that they do is they do the best to talk about the rider that rode the bike, what bike number it was, what place it got in numbers of races whenever they can. Now, they obviously said there's some parts that they just can't do that for, but this, they, in a lot of them, they are able to track that. To me, to say that, hey, X rider rode this, used this camshaft to come in third place at Mugello or someplace like that, to me, just a neat piece of history. When you look at some of the vintage stuff right now from some of the heydays of racing and the prices that stuff is going for, I think Ducati is just 100% on the mark with this. They're also starting to push through some World Superbike parts, which to me, those are appealing. Maybe less appealing to my wallet, but those are still appealing to me. To me, the fact that you get the history, the lineage, and that certificate of origin, which is signed by a number of Ducati executives, to me, that is, I mean, I'm assuming that if you had $800 sitting around, you would have a camshaft on your coffee table. No, Jacqui?
Oh my gosh, Josh, I am such a nerd. I would buy this in a second. The minute we wrap the
Yeah.
show up, I'm going to the website. I'm not even joking. I love stuff like this. Anything that has that provenance, that is a bit of
Yep.
motorcycling history. I am a huge nerd sucker. I'm a
Yeah.
dork for it. I love it. This is such a neat program. Bravo to the folks at Ducati. I wanted to give them a little bit of grief and joke about how, they're trying to wring more money out of people. I'm buying it.
This
Hook,
is the
line,
right
and
way to
sinker.
do it.
Yeah, this is the right way to do it. This is a yes for me. This is a slam dunk. I want to be a part of
Yeah.
racing history. Absolutely yes. And thank you for bringing this up right before my birthday, Josh, in case any viewers out
Yeah.
there are wondering
Yeah.
what to get me. My birthday is the 8th of August. Every year it's at Sturgis. They throw me a little party, but I would love to have some racing motorcycle history as well.
Just bring that. Just here's a crankshaft for your birthday. Happy birthday, and then you'd be good. What's interesting is if we go back to that first one, Ashley, where you can see the crankshaft there. What is so cool about this too is if you look at that, you see those circles in the counterweights. That is the metal that they use to balance those crankshafts. So you see some of the engineering that goes into that, which to me is just. The detail in these are just awesome. So yes, to have that piece of racing history, yeah, good stuff.
Yeah, that's super good stuff. Great stories, Josh. Great story today, my friend. As always, bringing you all of the breaking news and cool stuff going on out here in motorcycles and power sports. Thanks again for tuning in, everybody. Thanks to all of our sponsor and show partners. We appreciate each and every one of you watching, clicking, liking, and sharing all these videos with your friends that love hearing about awesome stuff going on out here in motorcycle land. Have a great weekend, everybody, and we will see you next week. Ride safe.